All right, here we go. Ice Out 2026. So it's actually it's about a week and a half after the park opened. It's earliest I could get out this year for paddle, but I'm hoping I'm going to beat the bugs. So I just stepped off from the Canoe Lake access point. Today I'm on my way to Sunbeam. After that, I'm going to head to the Otterslide Lake. Day after that, I'm going to paddle up the Otterslides into Big Trout Lake, and then through McIntosh marshes into McIntosh Lake for my last night of the trip, and then paddling home. It's a variation on a route I did a couple years ago, but I really enjoyed the route, so I'm going to give it another go. I'm going to try to get some photography, some fishing, and if the weather cooperates and I have the energy to get up in the middle of the night, hopefully some astrophotography. Weather this morning is a bit windy and cloudy and cold, but that's what you get from May tripping. So let's get to it. So it's literally started snowing. Alright, first portage of the season. The 401 of portages in Algonquin Park, but there's nobody else on it right now, which is kind of nice. This morning has been quite interesting weather. So it's sunny. It's raining, it was hailing, it was snowing, sunny again for the portage. I think it's just starting to rain again, but what can you do? So normally Joe Lake is a bit of a zoo, but there's only one other canoe that I've seen on Joe Lake today. So I pretty much have the lake to myself as I paddled through. It's pretty amazing because while I was enjoying a snack, 2 loons were popping up right in front of my kayak. So it was quite a nice experience. Okay, portage 2, here we go. So it's a relatively short portage, which is good. Today's not a very portage heavy day, but that was definitely a little bit of a distance of paddling to get here. So I can see how in low water level this would be a bit tough. It's not too bad right here, but there's some shallow spots that if the water's lower would have probably required getting out. It's very tight and windy. Trying to find my way is interesting. Alright, first beaver dam of the season. Not too bad. Okay, second beaver dam of the season. That time I flooded my Gore-Tex socks, so my feet are a bit wet. Luckily it's not too much further to the last portage, which is a short one, and then at my campsite so I can dry out there. Beaver Dam 3. That one wasn't too bad though, I could at least power through it. Alright, I made it to Sunbeam Lake. So now I just have to find a campsite for the night. Luckily there should only be one other person on the lake tonight, so I should have the pig campsites. Alright, so on the island campsite, it's actually pretty nice. So I'm gonna camp here for the night. It is a bit picked over for firewood, so I might have to go paddle and scavenge some more firewood somewhere else, but that's just the way it goes with island campsites. Yeah, that stake hits just right after a 20-kilometer travel day. Decided to treat myself this time around and make myself a not dehydrated meal for the first meal. So I managed to bring in a steak on ice and get pretty well. And I also had a potato which I shoved in the fire for about an hour while I did some other stuff around camp. But yeah, nice dinner for the first night. The travel day today was quite intense. It was 20 kilometers I think to get here, including double carrying the portages, but not too many portages. It was mostly paddling. But I made it in the end in spite of the crazy weather. All right, good morning. Day 2 here in Algonquin. So last night it did drop down below freezing. I decided not to get up to do astrophotography last night, partially because I didn't want to get up out of my nice warm sleeping bag when it was below zero. But also I actually exhausted myself yesterday, so that's why I didn't really have too much content yesterday. The 20 kilometers of travel, it's a decent distance to begin with, but adding on the fact that I had to get up early in the morning yesterday morning and did not get a lot of sleep the night before. I was pretty exhausted by the time I hit camp, and by the time I was done my camp chores, it was getting late and I just wanted to go to bed. So I got that sleep in. But today it's looking like it's going to be a nice warm day. I'm going to be able to take this toque off pretty quick here, which is a bit of a funny story because I actually forgot my toque at home. I brought my little I accidentally grabbed my liner, my helmet liner, which actually worked out really well because I could throw it under my ball cap and keep my ears warm with the cold wind yesterday while on the water. But I forgot my actual toque, so I picked up this one at the gift shop, and it's a little bit thick and it's getting a touch warm right now. So I'll be able to take that off right away. We go. All right, after a brisk 4-minute paddle, including a stop to enjoy the view, portage 1. And away we go. So there's definitely a lot of blowdown on this portage. I think that's one of the downsides of early season tripping on less well-traveled routes. There's a lot of obstacles that aren't quite cleared yet. But if you look here, there's a lot of blowdown here from a tornado that passed through a few years ago. So there's a lot of trees that must have been covering the path when that tornado first passed through. So luckily it's not that bad this year. I have a very short paddle, literally just across the lake to there. So a lot of tear down set up just to go like 200 meters. All right, 5 minutes to get the kayak unpacked and on my shoulders. So not too bad. This is a very short one, so just want to kind of get through it. All right, that was 6 minutes, including the time it took me to take a couple videos of the pond. So another very short paddle. All right, portage 3. So I didn't actually see a portage sign, so you'll just have to make do with this really expertly hand-drawn sign I made. So it took me 10 minutes for a snack break and 5 minutes to load out the boat. So here we go, portage number 4. Well, I sure am glad I'm carrying my bags down this hill and not up it. It'd be a bit of a slog to be going the other way. Portage number 4 is done. So that's the 4 back-to-back portages. I'm on Burnt Island Lake right now. I've spent a few nights on this lake. It's not a bad lake, I just haven't loved the camp spots I've had. But I think I might pass one that I've camped on before. It's a little bit of a paddle, not too long, to get to the next portage, which will take me to Little Otterslide Lake, and then I'm just a quick paddle away to my lake for the night. So on we go. Well, that's kind of a Gucci camp setup in there. Got benches and tables and all sorts of things built up. I caught it on camera, but saw it grouse going across the path here. Unfortunately, by the time I got the camera out, it was off the path and in the bush, so I don't think any of the photos turned out. That's portage number 5 done, last portage of the day. I'm on Little Otterslide Lake right now. I have a few kilometers to paddle to get to Otterslide Lake, where I'm staying for the night, so not too bad. I am looking forward to setting up camp though. It was a shorter travel day, but it was still a lot of portaging and transitioning between portage and kayaking is always, I don't know, it's not too bad. I mean, it gives me a chance to take a breather, but just eats up a little bit of time. So yeah, definitely looking forward to setting up camp here. This stretch is as smooth as glass. It's absolutely beautiful. That's how I define my happy place. Paddling with no one in sight. All right, decision time. I have to figure out where I'm going to stay for the night. So the portage is down that way, not too far. Tomorrow's first portage. There's a site on the peninsula here. There's a site on the small island, and there's 2 sites on this big island here. Luckily, there should only be one other person on the lake tonight, and I don't see them on any of these sites. So I'm just going to try to see which one looks nicest for tonight. All kind of closed in. I don't like the island site. I thought I would like the island site, but it doesn't look that great from here. So I'm going to go check this peninsula site, and if I don't like that, I'll check the big island. So I don't like the landing, but I really like the site. So I'm gonna camp here tonight. All right, so no luck shore fishing, but honestly, I wasn't expecting anything. I'd probably have to be trolling for Lakers and closer to a stream or something like that for brookies. But I got to practice casting, which is something I'm not very good at, so much needed practice. Well, it's starting to cool off here. It's supposed to start raining overnight, so I think I'm probably just going to snack a little bit more, hang my food, and then turn in for the night. Probably just read a little bit and try to get a good night's sleep, because tomorrow I've got the Otterslides ahead of me, and then a bit of a paddle on big trout and white trout to get to a campsite. So looking forward to it. Until tomorrow.
Good morning, day 3. So as expected, it rained last night and it's still raining this morning. I set up the tarp when I got into camp yesterday, which is a good thing because it gives me a nice dry place to enjoy my morning coffee. It's still a bit chilly, around 4 degrees Celsius, hoping it's going to warm up a little bit today, but as it is right now, I'm just going to have a quick breakfast and try to get going a little bit earlier today. Plan for today is to head up Otterslide Creek, which is a route I did 2 years ago. I really enjoyed that route, which is why I planned it again this year. But it's a little funny because it rained that time too when I was on the Otterslides, so it seems I'm not going to have a sunny day on the Otterslides this time around either. But it is what it is. I'm looking forward to it today, so with that, I'm going to have a quick breakfast here and get going.
All right, off we go. So I'd hoped the rain would let up, but it's actually even a little bit rainier now. I did manage to get a little bit of a reprieve in the rain to hit the thunderbox and pack up my tent, but I also had to pack up a soggy tarp while it was raining, so it's gonna be a wet one. At least the kayak acts like a nice big umbrella. Yeah, the rain's really picking up, so everything's going to be a bit wet. There's a couple of beautiful mergansers back there, but I'm not really wanting to take the telephoto camera out of the dry bag right now, just because it's gonna go back into the dry bag wet. And even though I've got a bunch of desiccant packs in there, I don't want to soak it too much right now. So unfortunately, the good camera stays away. All right, well, I had a nice little break there. I had some lunch, and I tried to do a little bit of fishing. I saw some fish jumping, so I think there were fish there, but I didn't catch any. I'd blame my equipment, but the reality is I'm just learning how to fish, so I don't really know what I'm doing. I think the Otterslides are one of my favorite parts of the park. It's just this long, winding creek. It's wide open enough that you can actually maneuver the kayak, but it's just serene and peaceful. Lots of birds, lots of mergansers. I'll think I'm chasing them. I'm at portage number 4 of the day. So this is the 7:30, so it's the longest of the day, but it's not that long, to be perfectly honest, because I'll do it in a single carry with the boat and then double back for the bags, obviously, but no leapfrogging. So yeah, beautiful paddle. Surprised I didn't see more fish splashing. Last time I was through here, there's definitely a few areas where there's a lot of brookies splashing around, but no luck this time around. So anyways, time to get converted and on my way. So here I am, 100 meters down the trail, thinking to myself, wow, the backpack is so light. I forgot my food bag and my camera bag, which I usually carry by hand, so I gotta double back and grab those. Oops. Wow, the trail is muddy and slippery, and there's a lot of blowdown. So actually, I'm trying to cross one of the trees that was blown down. I slipped and smashed my shin. Luckily, it's not too bad. All right, first obstacle is an easy one. All right, no luck again. Okay, last portage is in the bag. Tried to catch some fish again. I think I got a strike, but got away on me. I'm using a barbless single hook, so a bit harder to keep the fish, I guess, but trying to be a better steward for the environment. So ahead of me, I'm on my way to White Trout Lake. It's probably going to be another hour and a half of paddling, I'm guessing, so I'm not sure what the situation is going to be like on big trout with the wind and waves, so I've got the skirt on just in case. I just passed the island that I camped on 2 years ago when I did this route. It's a really nice campsite, actually. Nice little island. But alas, I still have a long way to go. I've made it to White Trout Lake. This is my lake for the night. I'm paddling for about an hour. I think I'm going to go for another 20 minutes or so. I'm just going to go at least halfway down the lake, make my day tomorrow a little bit shorter. Okay, I made it to camp. My GoPro died just as I was doing my little monologue when I got onto White Trout. So I paddled another about half an hour, about midway down the lake. And oh wow, it's just, the cliff was beautiful. Tried to grab a little bit of a shot of it with the phone, but it's a bit hard to get anything good out of it. But yeah, it's a sign that this is the right campsite. I got greeted by a couple of loons. Hopefully they hang around and make some noise tonight. But yeah, well, we're gonna pull a weather forecast and see what it's supposed to be like tonight. But I got to get the tent set up and a tarp set up because I think it's gonna rain again tonight. So need to try to stay as dry as I can now. Good morning, day 4. So it rained through the night again, so everything's quite damp this morning. All my my tent is quite wet, and the tarp is definitely soaked through. But luckily, everything inside the tent kept dry, so I was pretty cozy last night. I actually did the old trick of filling a Nalgene bottle with hot water and using that as a hot water bottle to warm me up after the cold evening. So it was quite comfortable. So this morning I managed to get up pretty early, before 7 o'clock, so I'm going to hope to get on the water a bit earlier. There's a bit of a reprieve in the rain right now, and it is supposed to pick up again this morning. So I'm going to quickly have my coffee, have a breakfast, tear down camp, and get going. I'm hoping to get onto the McIntosh marshes early-ish this morning. It's supposed to be a good spot to see moose, and I haven't seen a moose yet on this trip except for on Highway 60 on the drive-in. So I'm hoping to have some good luck today. And with that, I'm gonna keep working on my coffee and then get going. All right, off we go. Managed to get packed up, but by the time I got to taking down the tarp, it had started raining again, so at least the tent and everything inside the tent stayed dry. So now I'm on my way to McIntosh Lake, but first I gotta go through Grassy Bay and then the McIntosh marshes. So looking forward to it today. Gotta keep my eyes open for moose. There's a bit of a current and a bunch of obstacles to fight here. Some old beaver dams that are shallow, but so far I've managed to paddle through. Let's see if the big ones are still in here.
So I ended up doing a leapfrog, mostly because I wanted to take some fun B-roll footage of me going across that bridge. But yeah, I distinctly remember this portage because it's feels like it's pretty much just constant uphill, and at the end it kind of just clears up into this broadleaf forest, which right now is pretty sparse since the leaves have not grown in yet. But it must be quite beautiful in the summertime, and especially in the fall with the colors. I'm kind of surprised that it's not ranked on Jeff's maps, because it's probably one of the harder ones that I've done on this trip. It's I call it technical because there's a lot of rocks and mud and a good steady uphill. Between this portage and the next portage, I think there's about 32 meters of elevation gain. So anyways, quick paddle and then I'm at my last portage, and then I get to McIntosh Lake, where I can unwind and try and dry up a bit this afternoon. Alright, so first beaver dam today. Hopefully it's not too high. Not too bad at all. On my way back to grab my bags. This is the last portage of the day. Luckily it's only at 500 meter and it's not too bad, but as I walk it feels like a very foreboding ridge. I don't know, it's kind of dark and spooky. Alright, here we are, McIntosh Lake. Just gotta decide what campsite I'm gonna do for the night. So the campsite I stayed on last year, or 2 years ago, I didn't like the campsite, but I loved the view because there's a lot of wildlife to look at. Clouds are supposed to clear up tonight, so I do want to try to do some astrophotography, so I'm gonna have to find something with good southward exposure. And frankly, if I can get east and north as well, that'll help a lot. So there's a couple campsites I'm going to check out first, and if they look nice, then I'll hold up there. If not, I gotta keep looking. So off we go. Did a little bit of island slalom there. So first island campsite looked actually kind of nice with a nice point. It was a good view of the south. It was pointing west, not east, but still would have been good for at least some Milky Way, not necessarily panorama. But unfortunately it was taken. So I went to check out this other site, which I was very hopeful that it would be on a point, but it's actually really treed in, as you can see, so I'm not actually going to be able to see the Milky Way from here. It's a nice flat campsite though. I mean, it would be not a bad spot if I wasn't trying to do astrophotography. So even though it's raining again, I am going to push across the lake to the west shore and check out the campsites along there. I think worst case scenario, I'll just end up back where I stayed last year, or 2 years ago rather. But we'll see how it goes. Just enjoying the shelter here for a bit because it's a bit windy out there. All right, I've scoped out the 3 sites on the west shore. The other 2 didn't look great, to be honest. It was unfortunate because one had an osprey nest right by it, but oh well, it is what it is. So I came back to this one. I had to backtrack, but I think it's worth it. It looks like it's going to have a good Milky Way visibility. Unfortunately, the core kind of pops up pretty close to astronomical dawn, but it should be a pretty good view. So if the weather cooperates with me tonight, then hopefully I can get some astrophotography in on this trip, because I packed my rotator, which is like an extra kilogram with the mount, so I just want to make that worth it. Well, with that said, I am going to unload my kayak, set up camp, and try to warm up because I am cold and wet. Okay, wow. So I've got my tarp set up, I've got the tent half set up, and I've got the fly hanging to be drying off right now. Bear hang set up, had lunch, and pretty much right now in bird watching heaven. So this campsite is right by a marsh, which normally would be a very bad thing, and I think in about a week or so it's going to be overridden with bugs. But right now there's little bugs around, but they're not biting bugs, and there are songbirds everywhere. So I've even got like a couple personal firsts. So Cape May warbler, rose-breasted grosbeak, I don't know how to pronounce it, and a whole bunch of other little birds just flying all around. It's just past 7:30 here, and the skies have cleared up.
the sun is peeking through the trees and I can see blue sky for the first time in several days, which is quite nice after a few days of rain. It's popped up around 9 or 10 degrees Celsius, I think. It's almost comfortable, I would say, just a touch still on the chilly side, but it's much nicer than it has been. I managed to get myself a fire going too, which was definitely a challenge given the fact that the wood was completely waterlogged, but I somehow got it to work. I'm not very good at starting fires, I'll admit that. Anyways, I'm gonna have myself a little bit of dinner here. I'm just gonna relax after that, and we'll see tonight. I'm hoping to get up, I don't know, 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock. I'll have to plan it a little bit better and decide when I'm gonna get the best visibility.
All right, morning of day 5. So as planned, I got up at about 2:30 in the morning, spent about an hour and a half doing astrophotography last night. I played around with the different settings quite a bit, so I'm not sure how many good photos I'll get out of it, but I got enough to hopefully learn quite a bit about how to improve my craft, if you will. And I think it's interesting to see how much I've improved in the past couple of years with astrophotography. Especially since the equipment has changed slightly, but it's mostly just learning the technique is where I'm improving. So it's a fun hobby, and the night skies out here are just absolutely gorgeous. There was so many stars in the sky. There was several meteorites as well, which is a nice treat because I don't think we're in an active shower right now. So it was nice and calm and relaxing. The only downside, it was about 4 degrees Celsius, so I ended up getting quite chilled while sitting here and trying not to move. I found my shivering was actually impacting the camera a little too much, so I had to control myself and try not to get too many shakes in the camera. Anyways, I'm going to enjoy my morning coffee here. It's a beautiful Algonquin morning. This is the kind of morning I love out here, where it's just calm, birds in the trees. You can see the loons in the distance, sun's out, it's warming up quite well right now, so I actually don't even have the toque on anymore for the first time in several days. And yeah, and then after that I've got a brief paddle to my first and longest portage of the trip. It's the 2.4 kilometers into Tom Thompson Lake. It's not that bad of a portage, it's just long, so I'll leapfrog it several times just to make it manageable. Then after that, just the very long paddle out, and then drive home. So it's always unfortunate on the last day because you get a beautiful day like this, and I just want to sit on camp for hours and hours and just enjoy it. But unfortunately, life is calling me back home, so I gotta get back to it. But not yet.
And away we go. So it's actually getting quite warm. I layered down quite a bit. Put the sun hoodie on too, and put on a lot of sunscreen because it's going to be a sunny day today. Pretty sure I mentioned this in my last video, but the smell of the marsh going through that stretch of McIntosh Creek on the way to Ink Lake is just an amazing smell. It's just like beautiful, naturey smell. I'm not sure what plant or tree it is that makes that smell, but kind of makes me wish that could convey the smell on video. Although, full disclosure, after 5 days without going in the water myself, I smell pretty bad, so I'm pretty sure that smell-o-vision wouldn't work out well. So anyways, I'm just closing in on this portage here. Hopefully it's not too muddy. Given the fact it's been raining pretty steadily for the past couple days, I'm expecting it to be a little bit muddy. I'm going to put on my hikers for this one, so I can't just splash through puddles like I could with the shorter portages where I just wore my gaiters and water shoes. I'm not going to try to balance on that log because I will fall. Alright, I've got the boat about a third of the way, and I'm just heading back to grab my bags for the first leapfrog.
So I've been hearing blue jays all trip, but I finally managed to get an okay photo of one and actually see one. So I just consulted a map. I think my Garmin here is overestimating the distance I've gone, so I don't think my boat's actually quite at 2/3 yet. It is what it is. It's kind of funny. I don't know why the Garmin always thinks I walk further than I do. But regardless, for the moving map at the end, I smoothened the data out, so it should be more accurate for that. Okay, that portage is done. That took a lot more out of me than I was expecting it to. I felt like it was easier last time I did it. I don't know, maybe it's the fact that I didn't really get much sleep last night because I was too busy looking at the night sky. Anyways, I'm gonna take a much needed breather here, and then I just have my long paddle home. Well, I'm just around the bend from the access point, which brings another trip to a close here. Wow, it was a grueling 5 days. I mean, the weather, distance, exhaustion, just everything. It was a good solid trip though. I'm very happy with it. If
you hung around this entire time, thanks for watching. Until next time.
Okay, GoPro, turn off.